What's up? Hello. Ugh. I'm gabbing it.
Let's not linger. Behold,
Well, that's a problem. I did not think they'd die that quickly, man. Oh my god. Any updates on beta? On what beta? Was or?
onward. Behold this blade. Nothing more here. Interesting. What a strike.
That didn't. What? He doesn't take the blunt damage if he's on this guy? Really? Oh my goodness. Woowa? Uh, Luke is a little more chopped than people originally realized.
Sleeps with me.
No, man. Oh my god. Like,
Off with you. Behold. Your life is mine to take.
there we go. Wait, what do you mean? Oh my goodness. What is wrong with this game? Like, are
Too slow. Behold this blade.
oh my fucking god, man.
Onward. You may keep it.
Nice, tactician.
Behold this blade. Mandate calls.
Finally. Oh my goodness. What are you trying to do? There's a requirement of defeat 2 enemies with res lib damage. I did it the last time, but it didn't register me killing them with the res lib damage for some reason. So I kept getting fucked over, but my QU1 does too much damage. So if I try to build the res lib again while fighting the thing, it'll die before I can get it.
If you insist.
My Lene is like hella poorly built. I can't even rely on timing a res lib right. But yeah, maybe you're right. I should have probably done that or tried it first. All right, let's go do this one.
Let's not linger.
Avoid being hit. Defeat Chop Chop last.
Behold. One strike. Settle it all.
No, V3 hasn't happened yet. I think it's probably supposed to happen today. My guess is Sparksy buff and a possible Sparkle nerf.
Your life. Mine to take.
How do I break the formation? Oh, there we go.
Mandate calls. You may keep it.
I think my camera's bugged. Yeah, there we go. That fixed it. Chisa best in slot. I mean, I do think the fusion burst team for Ameth would probably do more damage, so. Thoughts on new Weira reset? I didn't find it hard, but apparently the shield token for Mornai is bad. This Weewa has like 22, 23% HP inflation. So that and also Havoc res. Every single limited Havoc character is like Weewa related. How do I launch this guy in the air? Like, how am I supposed to do that? How am I supposed to launch him in the air, dude? Like, oh my god, man.
Onward.
How much you want to bet they make a fusion burst sustain just to rage bait Chisa fans even more? I mean, I don't know about this one specifically, but I do think at some point future negative status units just won't use Chisa anymore. Like I can't see them not capitalizing um on like future negative status units with a better third slot. Cuz like I'm just going to be honest, bro. Like Chisa's useless, okay? She's just useless. Even if theoretically, right? Let's. I want to get this out of the way. Even though I find it very funny if Ameth ends up hitting like the 2.5 milli damage mark with her fusion burst team, because that's what I originally predicted. That isn't even like astronomically higher as compared to the Toon Break team, right? Because the Toon Break team can probably averaged out do as much as like premium cart around like 2.15 milli, right? Somewhere around that ballpark. So you add like 300k damage for the fusion burst team. That's less than a 20% upgrade for way more niche supports, right? Like, is that even worth it? No, not really. And that's what you need. Because on the Toon Break team for Ameth, SK is better than Chisa. Like, dude, the generalist third slot support for the negative status units is going blow for blow with SK on every single negative status DPS. Every last one can actually use SK well. Like, dude.
Behold.
Dude, how do I get him in the air for 4 seconds? Like, explain it, man. You know what? I'll just half-assedly complete it for the exploration thing.
Let's not linger. Behold. Mandate calls. Can you keep up? If you insist.
Wait, it doesn't count as cleared if you don't triple S it? Wow. That's Sunday's value isn't good anymore because he isn't really best in slot for anything. Except maybe like Saba. But Saber's kind of ass, so it's like, eh. But he is like, you know, the general slot in support you put in if you don't have best in slot. Sunday is currently filling in like a kind of Ruan Mei role.
Interesting.
Very similar to Ruan Mei. It's like people always say, oh, her value sucks because she isn't best in slot for anything. But you can always use a Ruan Mei for like everything. Oh my god, my shit is lagging. Only team she'll be useful in is a future Havoc Bane team. Yeah, probably there. Because it's like she just isn't worth it. Like if you look at a cart team, almost any other level of investment, unless you're a quick swapper, is better than pulling her. For Zanny, it doesn't matter what you put into Chisa. She's basically just always worse than Spectro Rover, even if you include quick swap. And then you have Amy. It's like she just isn't needed. It's like, oh my god. I think Chisa is one of those characters where for sure it seems that Kuro knew people would pull on her no matter what because of her design. And so they said, fuck the kit. And we'll give a better kit to a character that isn't as liked. Because they actually need, the push more for people to purchase them. This is like kind of similar to Cammy, to be honest. Like, everybody absolutely adored Cammy. Camellia was super hyped. But then she got power crept literally in the next patch. Now, yeah, she has the better value for Weewa. And she has a free-to-play team because Roshia fucking blows. But it's kind of a similar situation where it's like, they aren't exceptional at all. They're like hard bait before a new version. There's also the reality of like, would I rather pull a Chisa with weapon, or would I rather get S2 SK or more Nai? You know what I'm saying? Like that also exists now. S2 SK, that attack buff is pretty juicy. It's alone enough to make her probably best in slot for a majority of characters in this game. And then you have more Nai who's getting shield currently and has like this entire Toon Break team going on. So both of them have really good value. I mean, she does have a Fusion Burst team, Dark. But if we're talking about the Toon Break team, yeah. It's the first case of a team having triple back-to-backs in terms of banner best in slot. Nah, we don't know what Lucia does. We don't know what anyone does past 3.1 characters.
Can you keep up?
But yeah, like Chisa is a scam. Like I literally can't put it any other way. She is just a scam. Like I even told people, even though I thought she was a scam for like the current negative status units, I was like, maybe the Fusion Burst team could change things. But unless they make the Fusion Burst team hit like fucking 3 million damage, which I highly doubt because Kuro isn't that crazy when it comes to bad scaling for power creep, she just ain't worth it, man. It's like really sad.
Onward.
Yum free slop. Hello, Bronte. How was Weewa? I got a double S clear first try. I think I was like 50 points off of getting triple S. I tried Fro with Lene, and keep in mind, I don't know how to play Fro. I'm not gonna pretend like I haven't looked at any videos. I don't even know what you're supposed to do. I just see like button light up and I click it. So Fro got like 2.5k for me. QU1, oh my god. At the last second, I got my forte, but I couldn't get it off on the enemies, and it would have given me the triple S. But QU1 with I think it was like Mort Verena, he gave me like nearly 4K. He gave me like 3.6, 3.7. Wait, no, he gave me like 3.2, 3.3 actually. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I noticed the drop off. The last time I used QU1 in Wiwa, I got like 4K plus. I think it might have been like 4.6. Okay, Bronte. No, I still think AMS to negative status team will be stronger.
Let's not linger.
I think that's a given. There's a lot of people saying that they don't think that, but in reality, they just say that because they don't want Amet to be stronger. They don't want a real reason to pull her. They want the Toon Break team to be like her cap, so that they can say that, oh, the older characters aren't that much weaker. But I do think her negative status team will be way stronger. To be honest, if you guys have seen my community post, I've kind of like changed my mind on Luke and Amy. I don't even care that Galbreda is going to be significantly weaker. I'm thinking of getting Glob currently. I am thinking of getting Glob. Oh wait, I forgot you can fly. Oh my god. I forgot you can fly in Renacida. Oh yeah, I know, Bronte, I know. Like that was a big issue that came up for me. Like usually I'm the animation guy. Animations play a big role in how much I like want a character, probably as much as design. Like for example, QU1, like even though QU1 already has the design for me, his animations I just absolutely love them. But Amos, it's like it's hard to call them animations. Like they're kind of cutscenes, and they're spammed like over and over and over again. They aren't really different. So Ameth is definitely not my type of character. No, I'm not gonna get Chisa. It's not happening. Chisa's just useless. And there's so many things I need to get on this account. Like right now,
Your call.
the plan is get Kanta for Fro, and then get Bu Ling at some point and run that as third slot on that team. QU1, I just want to run him with like Mortefi Varina or yeah, Mortefi Varina. And then I want to pull Galbrena and use her with Lene Mornai. That's kind of how it's going right now. Because I was looking at S6QU1 as a sub DPS in Galbrena's team, and I came to the realization that like he's kind of useless. Like he is barely better than Lene Mornai for Galbrena, but also um his S2 amp and like the extra amp the S2 gives is like non-existent. It just isn't significant enough. So like QU1 isn't anything special at all in Galbrena's team.
Let's not linger.
And then I'll eventually go for sequences as well. Sequences would be like S3 Fro and S3 Galbrena. And I'd run those as my main three teams. Oh, but you need four teams for Double Pawns Matrix. I don't care. What's better, Lene Mornai with Galbrena or Lupa Mornai with Galbrena? I think they're like probably really similar. The reason why Lene is competitive is because she actually does like a solid amount of sub DPS damage because of her res lib and the forte thingy. Also, she adds on to the ruptures. Lupa probably keeps up because of the better buffing though. Yeah, squiggly kinda. But even then, like I don't mind brain dead characters, you know what I'm saying? Like for example, Galbrena is one of the most brain dead characters in the entire game. You can go out of your way to optimize her, but she is like really, really brain dead. But I don't mind that. It's just the animations, dude. It's like, come on. I don't feel like I'm doing anything. Like you wouldn't even be able to, have like reactive gameplay to like a mob doing something. Like she might genuinely be a cheat code for holograms. Like you feel like you're about to get hit, but you can't react fast enough. You just fucking press a cutscene. Now you have 1 or 2 more seconds to think, and then you can parry, you can dodge. Like she's so easy. Like she trivializes everything. Ameth, yeah.
Does not linger.
If we don't care about endgame, none of this matters. Well, like, what else is someone supposed to care about in this game? Like, I understand there are people who find enjoyment from, like, just doing the events and, dailies and story. But it's so easy to get through that stuff, and a lot of people don't even play this game for that. Wu was one of those games where people are a lot more into it because of its combat specifically. And so characters like Ameth just fucking blow if you're looking for like some solid combat. Exploration, I fucking hate it, man. I hate exploration in these open world games. Am I the only one not feeling the hype anymore for Enfield? I feel like there's a lot of doom and gloom around Enfield, specifically when it comes to the gacha system.
Into the wind.
I talked about it before. My issue isn't with the gacha system. It's about how much the average poll income ends up being. Because everybody's like, oh my god, like all these, 50-50 Hoyo Kuro bots, like these Gamba addicts, they've never played a real game. They don't know how to save, and that's why they're dooming the game. It's like maybe that is true to a certain extent, but at the same time, the gacha won't be better than WUWA or HSR if the poll income is lower. Like nobody is thinking of this. Nobody is like they're like, "Oh, it's way better than WUWA in this game." Like, no. Wait for the poll counts of the game to come out first. Cuz like for example, WUWA's average polls per patch I think is currently on like 110, right?
Does not
If
linger.
Enfields were at let's say like 70 to 80, it would be worse than WUWA. It doesn't matter that this game has 50-50. It would be worse.
Onward.
A-Meth is the closest thing to HSR combat? Yeah, basically. But outside of that, it looks like a fun game if the gacha doesn't bother you too much. I just think it's overhyped. That's all I'm going to say. It looks good. It looks great. A lot of people have been waiting for it for a long time, so it's understandable. But I do feel like it's just slightly overhyped from the things I've seen, whether it be like the gacha system, people saying the combat is exceptional, but from what I've seen, it didn't look that crazy. I don't know, man. I genuinely think, like, my standards for a gacha releasing are now much higher because of Silver Palace. And it's kind of hard for me to get over that, maybe.
Let's not
No,
linger.
yeah, me neither, Hafsa. I haven't had an issue with any character's animations in this game. Even like Cart, who has a lot of animations, like until now. Like it's only Ameth because it happens so often. No, Bronte, you don't understand. Yesterday I was like talking to some people and I was like, dude, they made the doctor a DPS, but they made Q a sub DPS support who does like no damage. Like just thinking about it made me angry. Like imagine if Q was in Luke's place of damage and had main DPS sequences. Can I ask why do you play gacha games? They are a lot more casual as compared to competitive multiplayer games, which I grew up on most of my life. They didn't require anywhere near the amount same of skill. So that's how I got into them with like Genshin. It's also like anime games and stuff. And at first, when I played them like incredibly casually, by incredibly casually I mean that like logging in 2 to 3 times a patch, I was satisfied with the minimal content. But when I started getting older, I started moving more away from multiplayer games and playing gacha more. I came to the realization of like a lot of the flaws that these games have. So I ended up like looking into endgame, learning how to play my characters, actually paying a bit of attention to meta, and that's kind of where I am right now.
Onward.
Is YouTube your side hustle or your main job? If this was my main job, I'd be homeless. It's just a side hustle. Even then, it's hard to call it a hustle because I don't even try to make money off this channel. I do from people just watching and getting ads, but I refuse to do sponsors. My uploads have been significantly slower lately as compared to usual. I don't appease to companies or games to build a good audience. I'm kind of like the opposite of what a content creator would want to do if they wanted money. Have you cleared Weewa? Yeah. Well, not triple S, but yeah, I cleared. As you can see. Oh, yeah. I was 60 points off of getting triple S. That's what it was.
Let's not linger.
Oh, wait. This is a fake chest. Yeah, Bronte, everything comes to an end. I imagine Plunderer, although like it'll be enough for probably like 2k points. I'd say even like 4.x. Like once we get a little more power creep, more instances of HP inflation, I do think Plunderer will be gone in about a year or two as like super viable. My only highest is 6k, yeah. That lines up with like how much my QU1 lost. We will get more options though. What, from like more healers? Kuro doesn't really release. I mean, I don't know. Depends. Should I skip more Nai for a guaranteed A meth? I already got a solid DPS roster in Lene, but no Chisa. I mean, do you have SK free at least? Like SK Chisa and Mornai are kind of like the main third slot options for her. Yeah, we would got 20% HP inflation. A little more than that. Like 22, 23. Got SK? Yeah, you can use SK with an AMETH and use AMETH guarantee. How did we would go for you? Solid. 5.4k. If I actually learned how to semi-play Prolova, it should have for sure been better. But they were both first tries, so who cares? They're trying to push Prolova out, yeah, and then Camellia catches strays because of it. No problem, Rock. How many patches until Chisa becomes the new shorekeeper? Never. It's just not gonna happen at this point. It's hard to even call her a shorekeeper. Because, like, she's targeted towards negative status alone. Shorekeeper is targeted towards everything. And Shorekeeper is still competitive even in her negative status niche. Like, it's really sad. It's pretty sad at this point. I mean, that's how it always is. It's there. There's always this honeymoon phase at the first year and a half of every single gacha that people just can't get over of. They'll glaze the game, say, "Oh, this isn't like said 3-year-old game where they need limited units for characters to be good or to fully function." Like this new game, they're different. Copies don't matter. Weapons barely matter. It's like the game just released, man. Like they always change as time goes on. I don't get why people don't understand that.
Let's not linger. Your life. Mine to take.
Yeah, exactly. It's like people fall for it every single time. Please do a whimpering run on stream. But I already did whimpering, dude. Fuck. You have another account? I don't want to log into it. I'm gonna be completely honest, like, well, one, that account literally only has one DPS. That one's way less invested in. I just don't see me clearing it. But two, Wua is way more annoying when it comes to switching accounts. Like, you have to re-input the info every single time, which it sounds like something stupid, and maybe it is, but because of that, I haven't even been logging into my card account. I have to log in and put the info every single time, man. I mean, I guess I can try getting the triple S. Yeah, I did use more. The other problem is I'm on 260 ping. So sometimes, like, the delayed spawns really fuck me over. Not even using Plunderer, true. Plunderer is a relic from the past, true. Wait, I did that by accident. Wrong button. Holy lag. I got nearly 4K this time, and I fucked up at the start. I also fucked up at the start. I don't know how to play Fro, okay? You guys can slander me all you want here. I have S1 SK, by the way, so it doesn't matter. Hate watching aloud, yep. Are you guys appreciating the Giga casual gameplay? Do you use Ethernet? Yep. My pooling solos for more. This gameplay is fire. uh, Wait, I accidentally canceled that. Whoops. Prolova only getting 2K? Holy brick. I barely got it off. I barely got it off. 6.3. Hey, that's a pretty big jump. What did I have before? Like 5.4 something? I increased it by 900 this time. Probably because I played Kiyuan better this time, but... yeah. There you go. There's a Weevo run. Close to 6.7. Okay. Isn't 2.5 in a non-best in slot team with Havoc Res impressive? Well, it would be impressive if it weren't for me using the shield buff. The shield buff is like pretty strong, so... yeah, exactly. Mormon cleared with Gian Chacona 5,800 points. Oh, Gian new top dog?
Onward.
No, I do have Frosig. I spent money on it. Also, Gion's kind of a cheat code when you actually learn how to play him. Like, the average player will not get anything out of Gian, really. But because Gian is one of the few characters in the game that can work on, like, a 16-second rotation, instead of what everyone else is locked to, of, like, 25, he has a higher ceiling. Have you done the new MOC? Yeah, I have a video on it.
Into the wind.
Yeah, exactly. Like, even before this Weibo HP inflation, I was actually in, like, a Discord a few months back, and we were all, like, asking people what, like, an average player would look like, using Gian, who hasn't really learned him how to play as optimally. And, like, the consistent picture that we got back was, like, 2K something. like low 2Ks. So the average player with Gian before the most recent HP inflation was getting like 2 point early K. So now they'd be even more bricked.
Can you keep up?
Well, people didn't expect Wua to go the support creep route. I don't think many people expected that. Yep, Bronte. Do it for the propaganda. We went from solo Don Jin, so long as Don Jin can solo,
Onward.
power creep, nothing like that exists, to now Bronte and his plunderer runs. Or her. I actually don't know which one you are still. His?
Let's
I.
not linger.
But even though I can clear that, I can't clear TOA. I don't have a woman playing this game, not real true. I don't have enough built characters to tackle TOA. It's not even like a power issue. And I don't want to waste farming my resources for 4 stars because I'd rather just wait till Glob comes out. So when Glob comes out, I have her fully maxed. 1 second. S6 Katana Giga Chat he can't carry? No, he can't. I just don't have enough characters to clear everything on the towers. That's the thing. Because TOA requires like so many different characters and teams. It's not really like a power issue. It's more of like a horizontal investment issue. Clear with solo Don Jin? Dude, it's over, man. Oh, leave it in the past. I don't have Don Jin leveled. Loki, you can Ling Yang, Sanhua, Varina, both side towers, and then use your yeah, but they aren't built is the problem. I guess Sanhua doesn't even need to be built, but like here, look, level 0 Ling Yang, level 40 Sanhua with like nothing leveled. Yohu is also unbuilt. Donjin is maxed. Oh, I did max Donjin. I don't remember. Oh, no Forte. Havoc Rover also kind of bricked. Levels, no Forte. Like this is the issue. I've been procrastinating building these characters, especially like I don't even have Lene built. You know what I'm saying? Like if we look at my Lene's echoes, yeah, like I haven't gotten a single double crit. Low key, if I had my Mortefi on Static Mist,
I'd experiment.
because I was using this with Kiyuan by the way. If I had Mort on Static Mist, I think Kiyuan gets 4K.
Onward.
My eyes. Not having Donjin built. Hey, I made this account around like was it Galbrena's patch? Yeah, I think I was around like Galbrena's patch. So chill, chill, chill. I'm not like a I'm a youngin, right? I'm a youngin. I'm not a veteran on this one at least. My older Wuwa account that I dropped for this
Keep
one
up.
could insta clear TOA. It's my Augusta Zanny one.
Let's not linger.
I had Augusta, Zanny, Cammy, Zhang Liao, and Brant. Addiction to new account stacks. Exactly, Bronte, exactly. Also, it's like I've been pretty lucky on this account. You know what I'm saying? Like you guys need to keep in mind, even though I have spent money, I spent money after getting my S6 QU1, right? So for an account that was made on Galbrena's patch, we have a S6R1 QU1. We got a Linnae. We got an S2 Verena, right? We got a Prolova with her signature, and we got an S1 SK. That's pretty steep. That's pretty steep.
Onward.
And you didn't buy dupes? Yeah, I haven't bought dupes at all. Oh, 100% VAR. Like, I can admit it. Okay.
Your call.
Get rid of this S1 SK and get rid of this S6 QU1 and keep him as 0. Right. That is 7 more limited characters. Like, that is an entire Amy premium team additionally on my account if I didn't go for this guy's S6. Uh, it's the same thing in HSR. You can make a new account in HSR. And look, for example, if you haven't played on your old one for like a year, and you can pretty quickly catch up just because of the amount of pulls you can farm. HSR new account is fun, yeah. The only reason I haven't made a new account for the upcoming Elation path is just straight laziness. But I did used to do it pretty consistently when we'd like go into a new version, um, like all that stuff. Going through everything a second time with skip button is still ass. It is, but it is way faster, which is nice. Like, you guys need to understand, before we had skip button, Ampho, some Penacony patches, they were bad, dude. Like, they were so bad. But now, you could probably speed through Ampho in like 2 days, which is really fast. I'd say the most annoying part, actually, of like min-maxing HSR pulls as a new account is like Simulated Universe, Divergent Universe, Golden Gears, Swarm Disaster.
Can
Now
you
you
keep up?
have Currency Wars, like all that shit. That takes a while to max out. What do you think 5-star Yang Yang will be a negative status character that plays with Chisa? No, I don't think so. I don't think they make Yang Yang it just wouldn't make sense. Unless they give her a new element that isn't arrow. Because there's already an arrow erosion negative status DPS. But I can't really think of anything that would fit Yang Yang SP other than arrow.
Onward.
Yeah, you don't get free Archer anymore, which kind of sucks. Like, everybody who got Archer on his thing and are like they have Sparkle or are planning to get Sparkle, just a massive win. That's such a free team for tackling endgame. But you do still have, um, I think, do you still have? I think you can still claim the Annie token for free Ruan May, and you have Don Hung. So you get those two things for free off the bat. Like, for example, let's say I made a new HSR account right now, and I started saving up for Yai, like 4.2. I could probably have like 5 to 600 pulls by the time Yai comes around. It's I'd actually say it's way more than that. But I wouldn't min max because I'm too lazy. If you min max, it's probably closer to 800. Because 4.0, given the track record of HSR, 4.0 120 pulls. 4.1, I'd say given the average 90, and then 4.2 is Annie. So that's another 120 pulls. So you're now at like 350 pulls from those patches alone. You could tell, Bronte. Just pull E6 Archer. E6 Archer is a bigger brick than fucking E6 Anoxa is.
Let's not linger. Onward.
When would we expect EMC? Probably 4.1 or 4.2. Because I'm assuming, similar to like HMC and RMC, EMC will be part of the Annie character. EMC is 100% real. Leakers were talking about how the first tested elation characters, like the first ones that were being tested, were, I believe, Sparksy, EMC, and Yai. When Elation Path was like in the testing, like a phase and in the works. So EMC is confirmed, just isn't coming out in 4.0, seemingly.
Can you keep up?
No, Yao Guang isn't cope for Archer. Yao Guang is good for Archer. Like, I wouldn't say she's Cypher level, but like Yao Guang is competitive with the other third slots because of the damage ticks in her kit. If I remember correctly, it's 15% res pen, 10% vulnerability. She's SP positive because every aha instant gives a free skill point. And then she gives damage ticks as well to Archer, which end up being like a 15, or I'd say around 15% overall damage increase from the damage ticks.
Into the wind.
In total, that's like nearing Trivy levels of damage increase. No, I agree, Bronte. But if you have no one else, I'd say if anything, that's the best one to invest into. Because it's like if you ever end up phasing out of Archer, you can just put her on the newest Elation meta team.
Into the wind.
So like she's probably a better pickup than Cypher, for example. Although some can make the argument, Tribby, because she has that E1 investment, but I don't think Tribby's gonna continue being the strongest generalist AoE support for like over a year. I don't see it happening. Does Archer now reach Remembrance Team DPS? No, no one reaches Remembrance Team DPS in this game. Unless it's like Sustainless Anoxa with Cyrene. But he is like up there. He's way stronger. If I remember correctly, he's about Cassie level. He's about Cassie level before they got Cyrene. But they had Evernight and Hyacine. Evernight and Hyacine. True, Bronte, true. Do you think they are setting up for two different Elation teams with EMC, Silverwolf, SP, and Elation Sustain, and there seems to be too many characters for one team? I'm gonna be honest. I haven't made a video giving my thoughts on Elation because it's the most clueless I've ever been. But I think Elation might take a different approach from Remembrance. Right. What I mean by that is, I think they might make multiple Elation DPSs. And I don't mean like Aglaia and then Cassie. Right. I mean like 4 to 5 Elation DPSs. Yao Guang will be the universal support for all of them. And then they'll sell a second slot for every last one of them. I think is the prediction I have currently for Elation. Because from 4.0 to 4.2, we are getting as much or as many Elation characters as there are Remembrance characters in HSR within only 3 patches. Which means there's gonna be even more Elation characters later on. And with that sheer amount, I don't think they're going for like 2 different teams. I think they're going for like a ton of different DPSs that have different functions and different unique things with Elation. Like for example, you have like Sparkle or Sparksy with her insane fucking SP count and consuming it. They'd probably do something very exaggerated like that for every other Elation DPS.
Onward.
Silverwolf SP is Elation Bronte. She was originally planned to be Erudition, but there was already a leak a little while back that she was changed to Elation. And 4.1 has a decent chance of having an Elation character too. So it's like 4.0, Duo Elation, 4.1 possible Elation, 4.2 Duo Elation again, and likely EMC is out at that point. Cooked already? I mean, EMC could be in 4.1. It doesn't matter when he releases, though. Argument holds the same. If she's not a DPS, she'll be a DPS. True. I mean, to be fair, it works. Like, making characters DPSs forcefully. I've seen Tribby, main DPS, get some low-cost 0 cycles for the majority of version 3. Cyrene can also be ran main DPS. Like, that shit is real. Yai Sakura, strongest DPS in the game, mark my words. I mean, that's kind of obvious, though. Even then, I don't think Yai Sakura will be in the strongest in the version. She'll be the strongest, like, longer than anyone else, like Cassie. But for example, Evernight is stronger than Cassie if you just remove Cassie and put a support until you get to, like, whale levels of investment. I think they do the same thing. Like, this is the same thing they did in 2.x. Like, Fei Xiao is stronger than Aggron Firefly until they got buffed. So it seems like the last DPS of a version is stronger. Who do you think will be the 4.1 characters? Blade and La Mancha. It's a filler patch before Yai. I don't think they'd put Nihilux in there. Imagine Yai becomes Cyrene 2.0. I don't think so. I just really don't. Are you gonna pull the 4.0 elation support? On my Cassie account, I'm just not pulling at all. Maybe, if I end up changing my mind, but right now I just have no plans to. And my Anoxa account is going for guaranteed sparkle to buff my archer. So, and I still need to focus on getting Cyrene on a rerun too. After that is when I can actually start focusing on the new meta. Because if I get a Cyrene for my Anoxa and I get a Sparkle for my Archer, their longevity is already increased by like a year. I need that shit badly.
Can you keep up?
Mm. Please, La Mancha have broken Eidolons and don't be like Anox's. I don't think he's gonna be the one to get good Eidolon treatment. No, yeah, I know, Zajan. That's what I was saying earlier. They're gonna put filler either Blade or La Mancha before the Annie, and then the Annie character will obviously be way stronger because they want people to really spend their money on the Annie. But to be honest, like even aside from all these characters, I'm really hoping they do something big for HSR's third Annie in terms of like changing the weapon banner system, the character banner system, adding like an easier way. Like even if they just added like a Eidolon shop, similar to this game sequence shop. Like I care so. This is the first time in a while I care more about hopefully getting better, reward systems in QOL than I do the characters. Because it's like third year in the game, dude. Please just put guaranteed signatures. Please. I'm begging. There was a early four. Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
Into the wind.
bro thinks Hoyo's going to do
Can you
that.
keep up?
Hoyo is known for improving their banner systems in their games when they've been out long enough. What do you mean? They've done it with ZZZ. I heard they reworked High Three's entire banner system to be way better further down in its lifespan. And Genshin has also gotten like better reward systems for limited characters, and they got an updated weapon banner, and they got capturing radiant. Like every single Hoyo game has gotten noticeable improvements in their banners. HSR is the only one that hasn't gotten any improvement in its banner so far of like the mainstream ones. Like to be honest, I'd still be happy
On your
even if they just gave us the new ZZZ rerun banner. I'd take that too. Like imagine they rerun, let's say like Cassie and like these older characters, right? Or they rerun Tribby, but it's an insta guarantee on the rerun banner. So you can get like an E1 Tribby for free, or sorry, not free, but guaranteed if you already own her. Like I'd take anything at this point, just any improvement to banners and attaining characters. Yeah, they could also update the lost pool on the limited banner with some 2.x characters for sure. Like at this point, there like you could put Acheron. I'm being dead ass. You could put Acheron in the 50-50 lost pool, and people still wouldn't use her. So it's completely fine to put her in there. You could put like Jiao Q and like those characters in the 50-50 lost pool. Even Robin at this point. Like people don't even talk about Robin that much anymore. Put Silverwolf in there, I beg. Bronte wants a free E6. HSR is the cash cow. I still think they'll update the banner system though. I just really hope it's now on the third year. Like, it just doesn't matter. Like people used to call Genshin the cash cow of Hoyo, but they still updated Genshin banner system and stuff like that. Like surely HSR gets something. And HSR is the game that like it matters the most in because of its power creep and HP inflation. Yeah, capturing Radiance is something both HSR and WUA need. Copium as fuck. It just isn't copium though. Like I don't understand why you guys are saying this. They have an entire track record of improving banner systems across all their games. Like, do you guys really think HSR will be the sole exception of never improving the banner system? That would be insanity. Like, if we're talking about the second year, they technically introduced a golden token thing that allowed most people to get, like, Ruan Mei for free. So, in a way, that's, like, similar to updating people being able to get characters. But it's still not, like, it doesn't fix the main problem. So, I hope the third year adds something better. I mean, Genshin does nearly. You guys need to understand this highest revenue game thing doesn't matter. If Genshin released as many characters as often as HSR did, their revenue would be higher than HSR's yearly. And Genshin has been the titan of Hoyo for a long time. So Genshin has technically per character makes more money than HSR. And they've still updated the reward system and banner systems like multiple times.
Can you keep up?
Oh, Bronte. I mean, I do prefer the HSR community and their like doom post like critique like mindset more than like let's say Wu was. At least for a while now, Wu was has just been majorly just glaze blindly. Like I prefer when people are like overly critical as compared to overly glazing. But yeah, HSR community can get out of hand with the Doom posting sometimes for sure when it comes to HSR. Nice, Ellen.
Into the wind.
Go harder. This is a joke. Didn't HSR community crash out about AMF being a copy of Cyrene? No. There was no crash out. It was legit just a few people on Twitter. Even then, it was like so overly exaggerated by the Wua side to make it sound like they were getting fucking kicked around like dogs. It was like getting one guy on Twitter. Like, it's pretty obvious AMF looks nothing like Cyrene. The only thing that I personally found just a tiny bit suspicious when it came to like Ameth and Cyrene being similar is on Ameth's Drip Market. Her main line is about seeking to destroy destruction. Like, that's the only thing that made me that like caught my eye, because it's like this is the one character in the history of Wua that has like a line like this. And then Cyrene, and if you've played HSR, I mean, the entire Amphorius plot line is about fucking going against destruction. But outside of that, they don't look similar in the slightest. Like, for example, I saw people saying shit like, uh, like I've seen some Woo CCs and people on social media going like, "Oh, what did people mean when they said, why is Kuro withholding Ameth?" Because I think of Columbina animations. It's like, dude, I didn't see a single soul saying why is Kuro hiding Ameth animations. I didn't see a single soul. Yet I saw people on the Woo community talking about it like everybody was talking about this shit. Like, what? Where'd that even come from? Like, I saw it when it was the, what was it, the Skirk thing? When Skirk's animations came out. And I think people were talking about Cartethia animations and like why they were scared. Like, that one was real. That one was real. But nobody was saying shit about Kuro hiding Ameth animations, dude. Let's be honest. Yeah, there's one part of Ameth's animations, or, well, she has a ton of animations. It doesn't even really matter, but there is one part that is incredibly similar to one of Cyrene's moves, I think, in the battle against Iron Tomb. At least, like, the camera angle, the way it swings up, what they accomplish, it's the startup is the exact same. But, like, even then, it's like, who cares, dude? Like, genuinely, who cares? Who cares enough to gripe on something that small? It's like literally the first post I saw on my timeline from Varka's animations getting leaked was a comparison post from fucking John Seaman, dude. This guy has been in Tectone's community and making comparison posts for the gachas for like I think 2 years at this point, and he's still going. It's the first thing I saw was like, oh, look at Varka versus Luke animations. Can't believe one is a fucking $1 billion gacha company. The other one makes they make so much more money. Uh,
Onward.
Keep in mind, this same person, like a while back, is it the guy with the Yan Wu profile? No, no. I think that might be Shy Guy High that you're thinking of. He's a CC. It was someone on Twitter. But what's it called? He got like what was it? He used a Wua versus Hoyo post if I remember correctly when someone offed themselves, right? Someone offed themselves and it was like dead serious. And he tried to use like Gacha tribalism like Wua versus Hoyo for it
Can you
like a
keep
few
up?
months back. And he deleted it, he backtracked on it, and now he thinks nobody remembers it. And to be honest, I don't think people do because they like up the fuck out of his posts. Are you dead ass? Yeah, he got jumped on Twitter. He got jumped because he tried using like someone's real life thing for Gacha tribalism and like the Gacha war. The cosplayer? Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, I remember now. What did he try to say? It was a cosplayer, I think, who did some Hoyo cosplays, and apparently they faced racism, which led to them possibly doing what they did. And then he tried to use it as a look at how much worse the Hoyo community is as compared to Wu was. This would never happen in the Wua community. And he got his ass jumped. So that's what he said. It was really fucking bad. It's like what the first thing you think
Can
of
you keep up?
when you see something like that on social media is about how much better Kuro is than the Hoyo community. Wow. Hamdi G Cat is gone. They just aren't updating anything anymore. I mean, the biggest reason for these gacha wars is dead ass. Like, there's no point of me even trying to, like, sugarcoat it. Because I think most people are, like, aware of this now. It's just Tectone and his disciples. Like, that's the main reason the EN side of the gacha community has become the way it is. With all this, like, comparison and shit. Like, you have CCs who have farmed gacha comparison unfairly and engagement farmed off it, made hundreds of thousands, sometimes millions of views consistently for years and years and years. And then other people wanted to copy the way Tectone made his content, which is like Saint Taz and a few other creators. And now you have like way, way more people that are trying to follow in the same footsteps. And it just leads to obviously even more people seeing that shit. And it spreads to other games as well. Like there's no point in even trying to pretend like that isn't the biggest reason this all happened. Wua, I was there. I played Wua when it first came out, and it just wasn't like this. Before like all the tribalism, the superiority complex, CCs jumping on it to do the gotcha comparison shit, when Wua first came out, like the community and everybody was so critical of it, and everybody hated people who like overly glazed the game, right? Like people didn't like that. It just ain't like that anymore, really. Yeah, also like pre 2.x to an extent. But even then, like I'd say late 1.x, CCs were already jumping on the bandwagon of like comparison and shit.
Can you keep up? Let's not linger.
Too much glaze starts to get boring. Yeah, like I literally was scrolling through Twitter, no joke, like 10 minutes before I started this stream, and I saw a tweet of like, oh, W Kuro, like these devs are just absolutely exceptional as compared to these other games that don't do much, like the new targeted batch merge, like they're giving us QOL that no one's asked for. Like the glaze is fucking insane, dude. Like people have wanted a targeted batch merge for fucking forever, because you can batch merge like what, like 50 echoes, way more than that actually, and you'll get everything but the set you actually want. And then there's still the RNG that you get the right echo, and that you get the right main stat, and that you get the right substats. Like targeted batch merge is really cool. It's really nice. But the glaze is insane. Like people have been asking for this. They're like, no one's even been asking for this. I couldn't have even thought about this QOL. W Kuro, like what? It's like praising Genshin for getting their half-assed fucking artifact loadouts 5 years later, and being like, oh no, nobody even asked for this. Like, nah, bro, we've been asking. You know what I'm saying? We've been asking.
Can you keep up?
Saying Genshin deserves the hate at this point is like kicking a dead horse. No, I don't disagree. And this is why, like, people will never understand this. I don't know how it doesn't get through their head. They're like, why is it that you'll sometimes be harder on Wuwa as compared to, let's say, like HSR or Genshin when they don't do something up to your expectations? And like these people can never understand, right? At some point when it came to like a lot of the Hoyo games, I simply have lower expectations. Like these people expect me to keep the same expectations across all games, no matter how the games work. But that's not the case. I've always had the highest of expectations for Wuwa as compared to any other gacha since its release, because of how much more generous and like just how much they were trying in early 1.x, right? I hold this game to like an entirely different standard. I can still call out other things in the Hoyo games. I can admit that they fucking suck and I still make videos on them. But it hurts me more when Wuwa fucks up as compared to the Hoyo games. Because in the Hoyo games, it's like, kind of expected. They don't really want to change much. They already make so much money. It doesn't matter. But when it's Wuwa, it's like, fuck, dude. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people, I've talked about this over and over again. I thought when it came to Wu Was Annie that I would make an insane amount of videos, and I was so hyped for the Annie about how much better it was as compared to like HSR's and Genshin's Annies, right? Like this was a thing I was genuinely looking forward to doing, and it had not even crossed my mind in the slightest that their Annie would somehow be worse by a good amount as compared to like HSR Annie. It just did not cross my mind.
Into the wind.
Nice, Bronte. I didn't expect free Chacona, but I did kind of believe like a free Jian Yinlin. I always thought the free Chacona was like hella cope. But the Jian Yinlin thing, I thought was real. Because it's like, we're now in 2.3. We have a new power ceiling with the new characters. A lot of the 1.x DPSs are significantly weaker. Like, surely they just, throw a Yinlin. Nobody even gives a shit about her anymore. Throw a Jian. He's the first DPS in the game. Throw like a Zhang Li. I don't know. I thought they'd at least do that. But no.
Let's not linger.
Well, you would be willing to give Reverse 19 Knight a chance? I just can't play that many gachas. I just can't. I'm playing too many gachas currently. And then I also have IRL shit. Like, even if Reverse is good, it's another reason for me to not get into it, because then I won't want to leave it. And it's just unhealthy at that point, playing so many gacha games. Kurobots coping that Ameth will not. I mean, she isn't like crazy power creep over Cart, but like she's already stronger than Cart at base. It just doesn't matter. It may not be significant, but she is stronger than Cart right now. I'd say by about like 10%. It's not much, but and I also don't think it's gonna be her strongest team. For example, the Fusion Burst team starts hitting like 2.5 milli, then that's like near 20% stronger, which is more in line with what I originally predicted. Wuwa likes doing like 20% damage jumps when it comes to like new power ceilings. I'd say HSR right now, low key though, like actually high key, for the last few patches, they've had the best pull count per character across all the mainstream games. Because
Can you keep up?
3.6, Don Hung and Evernight, but Don Hung was free. So that's one character, like 100 pulls. 3.7, only Cyrene. 3.7 gave 120. 3.8, only Dahlia. 3.8 gives 100 plus. 4.0 is double characters, but 4.1 apparently will has a good chance of only having one character again, one new limited. And if that's the case, that's another 90 pulls for only one character, 90 or 100. So for like the last half year from 4.1, the pull count per character release on HSR is exceptional. HSR is the only one that requires more pulls for endgame? Not really. I don't really agree with that. HSR has the most annoying HP inflation, but the power creep makes it so that, for example, you pull in a Noxa with Cyrene, no light cones, right? You just run it with RMC and Don Hung PT. That team is clearing within 5 cycles for at least a year plus, and it's incredibly cheap. but at the same time, they have the decent pull count. Like, I've seen people use Jing Yuan up until around 3.6's MOC with no light cone. Jing Yuan, Robin, Sunday, and what was it? Avon. All without light cones. And it cleared within 5 cycles in like the 3.6 MOC. Yeah. Like, for example, people will. Like, I instantly got people slandering my E6 Anoxa, right? Well, like, instantly slandering my E6 Anoxa on my recent MOC showcase, but it's like, one, this guy has the worst fucking Eidolon investment of any main DPS in the entirety of Amphorius, right? And he's the one who benefits the most from horizontal investment at the exact same time. So I'm running this guy completely free to play team. Ruad May I got from golden tokens. Gallagher, because Don Hung PT is on the Archer team. And then what's it called? Like RMC. And he's clearing in 4 cycles against a boss that is bad for him, by the way. Like, insanely bad boss for the guy. And people are saying, oh my god, this is E6 Anoxa? This game is fucking. Like, it's like me. It's like S6QU1, right? You guys know S6QU1? They're similar. They're Wind Brothers. They were meant as sub DPSs for a main DPS. If I used S6QU1 against Endgame with Mortefi Varina, he would lose. Okay? He would just lose to a cart team at S0. It's the same thing. The guy prefers Cyrene and Ceridra way more than his vertical investment.
Can you keep up?
No, I agree, Reaper. I think if they make any like limited banner change on the rates, the one that would make them lose the least money is just making the SIG banner guaranteed. Because you have to think about it. 75% of people already win their signatures. Even if someone loses, they still likely won't spend a copious amount of money on the Lycone banner of all things. And then on top of this, you as well have it to the where like more people pull on a character banner than a Lycone banner, right? And more people would be willing to spend money on a character banner than a Lycone one. So that would easily be like the best way to make the players happy on the third Annie while not losing money or not losing that much money. uh,
Onward. Let's not linger.
it would be unfair and scam for those who kept pulling weapon in the past when it wasn't guaranteed. Who cares? I don't disagree, but it's like, what do you want, man? Like, were they supposed to refund every single 50-50 loss after 3 50-50 losses before they added capturing Radiance and Genshin? Were they supposed to refund everybody like a bajillion different limited weapons when they made the weapon banner better? Like, I just, I don't care. Just make an improvement. I am saying this as someone who like has spent money to get SIGs and like Wuwa and like these games before. Like, I don't care about, my old money spent at this point. Just improve the system.
Onward.
All this Ameth hype, but I'm curious about Luke sequences. Apparently, Luke's sequences aren't as good as they look, unfortunately, from what was originally thought. So, Luke's sequences aren't like exceptional, really. I think both of them are undercooked sequence wise. I think most countries in the world have free healthcare, or at least a lot of them. Some countries even have like free schooling for like uni and shit, which I could relate.
Into the wind.
People are saying Ameth is really bad for power creep. I mean, she isn't though. She is power creep, but it's like eh. I mean, I guess that is the definition of power creep. When people think of power creep, they kind of think of power cliff. You know what I'm saying? Like fucking 30 to 40% jumps plus. But power creep, it technically is, because the entire like definition is like very slow, small steps that eventually add up. Add a free scholarship, jeez. Augusta is great at S2. I think everybody's great at S2 though. Like especially S3. S3 is like the big one for a majority of characters. Ameth will be the level to maintain the balance. I'll take a different take here. I'm gonna draw a previous comparison. Ameth will not be the strongest DPS until the next Senres comes out. Instead, it'll be the Annie character. I think this is more similar to a Carlotta and then Zanny situation than I do it is to a Cartethia situation. I think Ameth will be the new ceiling, then the Annie character will surpass even that ceiling, and then the next Senres will probably be like the ceiling for the version.
Let's not.
That's how I see it going. Because if you guys would remember, right? Heavy conspiracy theory right here. The next rover was changed to Glacio. The Annie character is Glacio. They've been leaked as Glacio. So that means Glacio rover goes with them. Spectro rover was with Zanny. Arrow rover was with Cartethia. This game loves putting main push DPSs with rover. So that's another reason why I also think that's going to happen. Havoc Rover was forgotten. Scamming people for pulling Ameth? I mean, it's not really a scam. Once again, Wua's power creep is like pretty slow. Even if they power creep Ameth, I see at max like maybe a 10 to 15% increase from Ameth's DPR. Like that's kind of as far as it goes. But yes, Ameth wouldn't be the strongest.
Onward.
Sigrika is currently rumored to be the Arrow Echo skill DPS, which means QU1 best in slot probably. So I don't even know who the Fusion Burst sub is supposed to be. I mean, it's always better to invest into early sequences for 2.x DPSs because, like, Ameth, for example, a lot of people don't consider this, right? Once you get your horizontal investment down, it is better to go to vertical if you care about just meta and power. Because, for example, Ameth, like, that's an entirely new team. You need to pull, like, two or three different characters. For example, if you go into an S3 Prolova, holy fuck. That shit's probably going to be the strongest DPS for the entirety of 3.x, right? And sequences are pretty cheap if you get them from the Coral shop. So in a lot of cases, if you just care about straight power, investing into older DPS sequences is better usually. Nobody knows what the collab characters are going to be. They're like too far. They're in 3.4. There's like nothing on that. Like Loki Augusta S2 is cheaper and better than getting Yuno. Why is Yuno so popular? No, Bronte, like it you probably haven't seen it. But like my older Wiwa clears when I had my main account with Augusta, I had her S1, not even S2, right? Running with SK and Mortefi, and I'd get the triple S on her without even using a second team. And that's S1. Like S1 ain't even that big. S2 is bigger and S3 for sure is bigger. It's like this is why I always said Yuno is like eh. You know what I'm saying? Like I'd rather just go into sequences for a DPS, especially when Mortefi's that close. He just called Yuno the best pull character. I mean, it's like I can understand it. We talk about this every single stream, right? We talk about it every stream. I can understand it because she's versatile, right? She can heal, she damage, she buff. However, she isn't special at anything she does. Like it just does. Like her sub DPS, it's becoming more insignificant as we go further down the line, and she's just taking up field time from an actual main DPS. It's really only viable for wheelchairing some older characters who didn't get as much teammate shielding and don't do as much damage, right? That's basically the only time you use Yuno for that. Buffing, it's weak. There's no other way to put it. Mortefi is a better buffer than her. That shit is embarrassing. And then her main DPS, it's like, yeah, but there are way more main DPSs as strong, if not stronger, than you. She just, she's so overhyped in my opinion. I don't know. I mean, it's not just Saint's opinion. Like, this is a common opinion. Like, incredibly common. Yuno Glaze is way more popular than, like, criticism on Yuno's kit. It's like a very, very popular take that a lot of people have. Is she like HSR Saridra? No, not really. There isn't really a comparison you can draw. In terms of like only one character being able to fully use her buffs, yes, she's like a Saridra. But outside of that, no, not really. Because she's a sub DPS healer. Saridra doesn't do any sub DPS and she doesn't heal. What prompted the Galbraina fold? That's the thing, Uni. That's why I said like it was just so sudden. Like I don't know. It just hit me. And now I want to pull Galbraina. It came out of absolutely nowhere when I woke up.
Can you keep up? Let's not linger. Behold, mandate calls. Falls.
I support Galbraina propaganda, yeah. The only problem is I've been thinking of like, whoa, I've been thinking of how to mix and match the team for characters on my account. So the conclusion I've come to is Q Yuan. I keep running him with Mortefi and Varina because he's S6. Prolova, I pull Kanta and give her my SK. And then Galbrena, I give her my Lene and then I pull Mornai at some point. Because I looked at the calcs for Lene Mornai and they're good enough. They aren't that much weaker than SKQ Yuan. So that's the plan for the three teams on this account.
Let's not linger.
I mean, it doesn't even matter if Galbrena is weak because I plan to go for sequences at some point. The only reason I'm not going for sequences like I do in HSR right now is because I need to get the horizontal investment down on this account. But after I get Galbrena, it's straight to saving for S3 Fro, S2 SK, and as well as S3 Galbrena.
Onward.
Did you bench the cart account? It's not like... It's such a trivial reason, Uni, but I'm too lazy to input my login information and log out of one account every single time I switch between the two. And I don't have Woo on mobile because it just doesn't fit on there. Like, that's the reason I'm not playing the card account right now. It's not even like I don't want to. I'm just too lazy to be constantly doing that. Like on HSR, it saves all your information for like a week plus, meaning you can instantly change to another account. You don't need to like re-input it at all. And HSR I can actually download on mobile because it takes up less space.
Onward.
Download the game again and then play it on Steam.
Let's not linger.
But I could see like at some point me coming back to the card account for sure. Like it's always gonna be there for me to relog back in.
Can you keep up?
Which account is better? Well, S6 cart is way valuable than S6 Q1, but this account is better because my cart account only has cart and literally no one else. This one has an S0R1 Fro. It has a Lene, Q1, an S1 SK. You know what I'm saying? Is Mornai S1 or S2 worth it, guys? I'm hesitating because I don't think she's leaving my Lene. If you're running her with Lene, the only reason you'd get the S1 is to make the buff duration longer to 20 seconds. Which, it's understandable to pull on, but it isn't really like a must pull in my opinion. What are you using Lene for? Uh, Currently, she's just like a stand-in for my Fro until I end up getting Kanta. But eventually, I want to put Lene with my Galbrena. You can save the Toon Break. I don't think you can save Toon Break in this game, can you? Can you save Toon Break? I'm pretty sure it disappears after a little bit if you don't take advantage of it. I might be crazy though.
Onward.
There's no reason behind him pulling Lene. Well, you're right. The Lene thing was just a fold, for sure. But the use case I can get for her is well, it's exceptional. Like It's the best fold ever, high key. Because it's like, oh, I can put her in a Galbraina team. I can put her in this DPS's team. I can put her in this other team, and it just all works,
Keep up.
even if it isn't best in slot. It slowly degenerates and at some point goes away, but you can re-trigger it faster. Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah. Because like for example, I saw that the new standard pistol was really good for I saw it was really good for Galbraina specifically, but then I saw this stupid caveat on it. Where is it? Yeah. So you need to cast a tune break, and then like if anyone on the team casts tune break, this damage bonus starts counting down from 14 seconds. So it's like I can't get it for Galbraina's full rotation time, but the calcs are treating it like you're getting the full buff, which is a little unrealistic in my opinion. I saved the tune break. Really, it works fine. Okay, then I'll take your word for it, and I'll just go for this instead of her sig. With Mornai, yeah, I plan to get Mornai at some point anyways, which means tune breaking and the buff up time on it will end up being better. There's no way I can get Mornai right now though. How much time does she have? Yeah, hell no. I'm at like 20 pulls right now on the banner. To hit soft pity, I need what, like 50 more pulls. Oh, I see, Uni. You have so many asteroids left to grind. I could milk probably 30. Yeah, that might be enough, but it's like, oh, my laziness. Hmm. You are running around doing fuck all, but that's I do that for all my streams because I want to pay more attention to my chat and what they're asking or saying. Go get a job or get asteroid. Hey, I've been spending money, okay? I just don't like spending too much money on these gotchas. It can become unhealthy. Like this literally
Onward.
my first time ever spending money on gacha was for E2 Phanon, and since then I've spent way more money on like in terms of like direct currency. I've spent way fucking more unhealthily. Like at some point I need to stop myself. I need to keep myself in control. Like I've probably already spent $100 on Bleach Soul Resonance or close to it. I spent money for Fro, and I have like a fuck ton of different accounts with Battle Pass and monthly pass.
Can you keep up?
Yeah, exactly, Uni. So like I'm trying to reel it in as much as I can. Like try to keep it to monthly pass and battle pass. And if anything, I think soon I'll end up buying battle passes less. Like transition to that.
Let's slide.
I assume you gave up on Yeshun Guang 100%. I'll probably be able to guarantee her no matter what on a rerun, but I'm just too lazy to log on ZZZ. ZZZ is like objectively a really good gotcha game,
Onward.
but it's one of those few cases that I've experienced where it's like it just ain't for me. Like I can tell it's a good game, but it just ain't for me. Every time I try to come back, it just does not work well. Weren't you gonna spend money on Yeshun Guang? I held myself back. It goes back to what we were just talking about. I was getting too hippity hoppity with spending money on all these gachas. Grind for Mornai and then Galbrina. I mean, Galbrina's like, well, she isn't guaranteed, but she's close to guaranteed. Mornai is like, it's just too much, dude. Like, to guarantee Mornai, I'd have to farm 35 plus pulls overworld on average in the next 2 weeks. That's a lot. That is a lot. The only reason I can do it is because I have monthly pass. But that's like basically getting 100% exploration on the entirety of Lahai Roy and like maxing out everything. I might even have to go into like old events for it too. Ain't there another TOA reset? Probably, because we would just reset. The next TOA reset, yeah, it's in 13 days. You don't need max pity? That isn't max pity. My estimate is at like 70 pulls. Which is around when the soft pity starts hitting. Like really nicely. There's no point in ever considering hard pity in these games because the soft pity is so goddamn strong. I think the highest I've ever gone soft pity wise in like one of these games, I think for Wuwa, it was like 86 or no, sorry, 76, and then in HSR it was 87. Those were the worst case scenarios I've gotten of soft pity.
Can you keep up?
Unrelated, but I dislike how many liberation focused characters they are in Wuwa. Makes them feel awkward in the open world. Yeah, I can understand that. I've heard a lot of like open world lovers, like when they don't, when they want to deal with overworld mobs a lot easier, they just go into sequences for characters. Like that's a real thing. People don't even go into sequences for characters for endgame. They just do it so they can clear overworld mobs and bosses easier. Like I'd low-key never even thought of that. But it makes sense. It makes sense. Best open world wheelchair still Branch Lee.
Can you keep up?
Do you think Lene will end up being the highest value unit of 3.x? I mean, you could already make an argument. Actually, no. Because Mornai has... Like, there's people contesting Mornai in value. But there's not really a sub-DPS contesting Lene in value. Because of how general she is. I could see it happening, yeah. Unless they make it like a normal thing for like future sub DPSs to have general buffing with some niche on the side. Yeah, I'd say there's a solid chance she stays the highest value. Don't forget Lupa though, okay? We must never forget Lupa. The GOAT. Oh yeah, Uni. I was in the Discord yesterday, and I was talking to some people. We were memeing about like, what if they added prisms to Wiwa? Like, they just got fucking tired of Fro. They're like, fuck it, let's put in some Havoc prisms. We're tired of people using their asses. Are you Loon Lagoon? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I changed my name to meme with one of my IRLs. That's his name. It's Loon. And I've been trying to get him to change his name in Fortnite to that for like the last half a year. But he doesn't listen to me. Electro prisms would kill me. Rip Plunderer. Lupa carried Gabby account. Oh no, I've never even pulled Lupa before. But like her value is pretty obvious. If Lene didn't exist, I would have pulled Lupa for Galbrena. But because Lene does exist, it is what it is.
Let's not linger.
Would Lupa rerun in the Annie? Oh, currently Lupa is like it's heavily STC, right? And a lot of people don't know what this stands for, and I don't blame them.
Onward.
STC means subject to change. Of Lupa rerunning on 3.1 with Ameth. It's like Lupa Galbrena. The only one that doesn't make sense to me is Kanta and Chisa. Like apparently Kanta and Chisa are also supposed to rerun from that leaked banner thing, but it's like, dude, it's only been 2 patches. Like, are we serious? Who's gonna be the next Glacial unit? The Annie unit and Glacial Rover. Probably Glacial Rover first. And then like a patch after we get the Annie unit that's also Glacial. That Rover will be best in slot for. That's how I see it going.
Onward. Let's not linger.
Because if they made bosses have prism resistance, people would lose their fucking minds if they added them to endgame. Like, Wua can, get away with a few things sometimes when it comes to increased res in endgames and shit. But if they dead ass just completely locked an element from being able to do damage and clear, like, people would riot over that. Like, nobody likes that. That isn't good game design. Well, true, Bronte, but like you know what I mean. Some people don't care about res because they can simply brute force with their premium teams. But if they actually completely lock them out, it would be even worse. But like even now, I'd say ever since Wuwa introduced like res debuffs on TOA and shit, like people have been openly negative about that. They really don't like it because res makes a significant difference in Wuwa when it comes to characters clearing. Very significant. You don't have a Tribby
Onward.
that can give you like 24% res pen for free. You don't have like a E1 Robin really. Like it doesn't really exist. Actually, there are some HSR DPSs that just have res pen built in their kit too. Like that's another thing. Amy weapon? I mean, even then, Amy weapon's only like 10%. It isn't like crazy. It's nice, but it isn't crazy. Her refinements, though, are strong. I actually saw a calc, Bronte. I saw a CN calc brought up in the Discord, and it was like S6R1 AMF, like 5 point something million, and then S6R5 AMF, like 7 point, like early millions. Like that shit is actually a significant jump, like I thought. Like 20%, 25% buff. just from adding 4 refinements too. It isn't cheap, but like 4 refinements in Wuwa at max is like, if you consider soft pity, most people getting the weapon at 70, it's like 280 pulls. Some people won't even get 2 characters with that. Rumored 80% ice res in 4.x. I mean, Everknight's fine. Because you just throw her in a Cassie team and now it doesn't matter. Uh, it might be more annoying for some other teams for sure, though. Herda? I mean, at that point, just run a Noxa. like, if you have a Noxa and Herda and you're trying to run them together, like, just get rid of Herda, run Hyper Carry and Noxa, probably clears. But yeah, that's annoying. I've seen the high res mobs in HSR. I don't like that. Siren can ignore it. Yeah, but she'd also lose a lot of damage still. Because, like, a majority of her damage comes from the res pen stacking up so much. So she'd do, like, kind of weak damage still from the resistance on enemies. I mean, the gimmick is, Zajan, that it doesn't belong to bosses. Like, as far as we know currently, this res applies to, like, small mobs that have way lower HP pools. So it's like, you just breeze through them anyways. E6 and Noxa is perfect for Herda. He is, but I don't care. Plus, Anoxa main, like, it's just not worth it. Like, Anoxa main DPS with Cyrene and Ceridra at this point is just vastly above Herda DPS. Because Herda hasn't received any buffs since fucking Tribby. I would deadass be making my Anoxa weaker if I pulled the Herda. Hmm. Everyone got a buff with Tribby too. Or, sorry, True. Yeah, I will not be a support. I can guarantee it. They will never sell a support on the Annie. At least as a main push. It's never happening. Hello, hello, Leon. Silverwolf SP will be the Herda buff trust. Oh, those dreams are long gone, man. She's changed to being elation.
Let's not linger.
I could see, Bronte, just for your cope, right? I could maybe see them doing a Noxa Cassie situation where both characters on the patch are DPSs. But it is a little sus, right? Just a little sussy that they're both elation. which is like, you know, would they rather make two separate elation DPSs, or would they rather make Silverwolf or Yai? And I'm gonna be honest, there's one much more likely outcome between the two.
Can you keep up?
Do you think Silverwolf would be a sustain? I've talked about this for a while now. I think the most likely character for being an elation sustain is Blade. I think he is easily the most likely. And it makes sense too. Like his entire thing of wanting to die because he's immortal. So he takes on the blows as like a preservation or whatever. I could imagine him being a follow-up elation sustain who attacks back. Facial stocks. Facial stocks. You pull an SP Silverwolf? Probably not. I mean, EMC could be a sustain, but that isn't good. Like, it doesn't make sense. There'd have to be a limited version of an elation sustain at some point, no matter what. Because we always get new MCs. Like, we got Cyrene. Well, actually, Cyrene. In a lot of cases, Cyrene incentivizes using RMC with her. But outside of that, like, she is kind of the RMC upgrade for the Chrysos heirs. Yeah, low key, like, they gave Don Hung PT as a free sustain. If they make EMC a sustain as well, no one would even need to, like, bother pulling sustains. Unless they pull some bullshit. Yeah, it's more likely support.
Can you keep up? Into the wind.
Even Fu Xuan outside of Caster's teams can still sustain, yeah. Like, I use Gallagher with my Anoxa on my recent MLC showcase. And that's a 4 cycle. Now, I will say, here's the thing, low-key, like, Ruan May's kind of underrated for this. I understand she's obviously, like, not best in slot. But using Ruan May allows you to run a way shittier sustain because of the break delay. And especially with a Noxa, who inflicts weakness and breaks everyone all the time, like, there's just no risk of dying, really. Which is so nice. It felt so nice doing that. I felt like I was back in, like, early 2.x when Gallagher first released. Like, zero issues sustaining.
Can you keep up? Onward.
Sustainer on May is a real thing. In Break, a lot more so, yeah. In Break, it's actually really common. Technically, my Anoxa would be an incredible break DPS slash sub DPS. Because almost all his buffs are either defense reduction or res pen. Like, through his Eidolons, they're almost all that. Except for his E6. His E6 is damage bonus, which break can't use. I'd say you're probably good, Epic Guy. Depends on it if you want Lycones too. But like 4.0, like you still have half of this patch, and then you have 4.0. Like new versions are always like 120 pulls. So even if you lose 50-50 on both Yao Guang and Sparksy, you'd be able to guarantee both of them. And then Yai and Silverwolf are on the Annie, and you didn't mention anyone in 4.1. So you save for 4.1, and then you have a guaranteed Yai at least. Like at max, you'd miss one. Go for LCs for Sparksy and Yai. Yeah, then you might miss one or two. But that's like worst case scenario. This is assuming no pull refund and losing every 50-50. So if you aren't that unlucky and you're not, you're getting some pull refund, I think you are guaranteed for all of that. I mean, I'm hoping so, Bronte, but like somehow there's no leaks about a Sparksy rerun, which is so weird. Or sorry, a Sparkle rerun. I'm hoping she reruns then. It's like, my Anoxa account finally wants a new character, dude. It's been forever. 100% Flogon. Oh yeah, E2 Sparkle, man. Oh my god. That's a serious thing to consider. It is a serious thing to consider.
Can you keep up?
Who should I be summoning on as a new player? What game? Wuwa? Probably Mordai.
Onward.
Yeah, Bronte. There are some DPSs who end up overcapping the defense shred. I only see more Nai Augusta Yuno are these reruns. These two are reruns. This one isn't. This is a new character who is highly valuable. So I'd say I'd recommend getting her. She synergizes with both upcoming DPSs in the next patch. No need to get her weapon. Bro spent the 2 Lunites hiding his whale activities. uh.
Let's not linger. Behold this boy.
It's kind of sad that I've never had a use for Kyuwan's most optimal rotation because I just always use heavy attack. Like I've never used this guy as a sub like he's supposed to be. Does pity carry over banners? Yes, yes, it carries over. You don't have to worry. It's not like I must do 80. Nah. This ain't Enfield. Enfield slander. This ain't Enfield. Your pity will always be there.
Let's not
I have 120 pulls by the end of this update. Will I be able to get Amy and her Sig? You have a solid shot at it for sure, yeah. Because first phases always have the most pulls, right? So let's assume you get like 70 pulls in the first phase of the next patch. That would put you at 190. With pull refund, I could see that easily being enough, even worst case. Exactly, Bronte, exactly. His S6 does the same damage. Okay, like guys, listen. It isn't Kyuwan's fault that his damage is this bad. Okay? It isn't his fault. Listen, he did everything he could. He had the aura farm, he had the design, the animations. He's done everything he can. It was Kuro that fucked him over. The new Echo set will change everything. True. Kyuwan, who does notoriously nearly no Echo skill damage himself, because he's mainly just a heavy attack damage dealer, will absolutely be elated over the Echo skill set. Oh my goodness.
Can you keep up?
True, Bronzy. I mean, sequences are decently worth it in this game. You could go either or. I will say, Amy, at least like when we're talking about the Toon Break team, I bet the Fusion Burst team will be way more annoying when it comes to like alternative options. But when it comes to the Toon Break team, she doesn't really need any third slot, and she can use like Lupa as a second slot, and still hit like 2.x DPS damage. So her team options are actually surprisingly solid. It's Luke. If there's anyone who's like super reliant on specific supports, it's Luke.
Behold this day. Mandate calls.
He isn't. I don't want to hear it. Bronte, the situation has gotten worse, by the way. It's actually gotten worse for him. Because apparently, he needs to get 4 breaks off on enemies for his kit to reach its max scale. And obviously, Mornai, with her Toon Break efficiency increase, allows Luke to hit his max like kit damage potential way faster than anybody else. So Mornai actually matters a lot more than originally thought. So it's not only Lene, it's now also Mornai. Like you can eventually, like technically, catch up with the kit scaling, because what you need is 4 breaks, right? Like 3 or 4 breaks. But without a Mornai, that would probably be like 3 rotations. By the time you do 3 rotations on something, it's probably dead. Okay? Like it's probably dead. Mornai is best in the slot for both Luke and Toon Break Ameth. Or like Toon Rupture Ameth.
Can you
But
keep
yeah,
up?
like if you don't have Mornai, he's he's something. Yep, he's something. Good thing I pulled Mornai S1, I skipped Lene. Well, he's more reliant on Lene than Mornai, so it's like either way you lose. Oh, you can never win. You can never win.
Onward.
Mornai will be best in slot for almost everyone with any tune break stuff. Yeah, probably. Lene will rerun in 3.1. True, 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 true. One patch rerun, new record. Can anyone explain the different mode things of Lene? Strain makes enemies take more damage. And the more strains you're able to stack up, stacks of strain, the more damage enemies will take. And this is what Luke is actually pretty reliant on because his entire kit is based around inflicting strain. He needs like 4 tune breaks total for him to cap out on his kit scaling. Once he gets those 4 tune breaks, he's near Amy level, if not Amy level. But the ramp up time is like pretty significant. So that's what strain does. Rupture is just fat damage. That's all it is. So one makes people on your team do more damage to enemies, and the other just makes, you do fat damage. That's kind of how it goes. Well, calling it fat is a bit of an overstatement, but you do more damage.
Can you keep up?
How's your ping that high? This account is on C servers. 40% vulnerability? My friend.
Let's not.
My friend. It is damage bonus, okay? There is a world apart from vulnerability and damage bonus. I hope you did not pull it thinking it was vulnerability. But yes, S1 Mornai is still like super strong in general. S1 Mornai giving 40% vulnerability would put Tribby to shame. Tribby who?
Can you keep up?
Linnea's not best in slot for Luke, but Mornai is best in slot for Luke. The thing is, I don't even know where the fuck they'd put a Luke best in slot on the banner placement. I've been thinking this whole time it was vulnerability. Oh no. Oh my goodness. Hey, it's still strong, okay? S1 Mornai is still strong. It's one of the best sequence investments in the game because of the character it's attached to. But yes, it isn't vulnerability. Vulnerability would be way too strong for the standards of this game. But yeah, I don't know where they're going to put a Luke Best in slot. Because it's like 3.1 is Luke Ameth. 3.2 by the leaked Echo sets should be Arrow Echo Skill main DPS and Ameth Fusion Burst sub DPS. Right? So those two are in 3.2. And then 3.3 is the Annie with the Glacial character. So it's like, I don't. And then we're out of Lahai Roy. Like, we're out of Lahai Roy at that point. Because 3.4 is the collab, 3.5 is Mengzhou. I'm starting to think that the reason they gave Lene general buffing wasn't because they actually cared about her being a general buffer. It's because they wanted to make one character for both Luke and Amy.
Behold.
But obviously biased towards Ameth because she's the woman.
Onward.
Yeah, 2.8 was the biggest skip of all time, unless you got fooled by the CCs, which a lot of people did, by the way. I'm not gonna lie, probably like every other day, I'll just be like watching a video. Maybe I'll be scrolling through Twitter. Maybe I'll be checking Reddit for leaks. I'll get recommended a post of someone who is genuinely sad over the fact that Chisa isn't really wanted anywhere. Like, listen, it's funny. I find it hilarious. I feel bad, but I also find it fucking hilarious. No, 2.8 was just Chisa. There was no other limited character. 2.7 was Kyu on Galbrina. Side grade to Aero Rover with weapon. With weapon. Or actually, no, she is like a little worse than Aero Rover. So I guess that is the definition of side grade, kind of. Damn, Ronti. Damn. Tough. No one can match up to Buling, can't they? It's just not possible. Jesus, like Roshia pull value wise, yeah. Solo Buling last Weewa was 3k points. Jesus. Wait, I actually didn't know she was that good for it. That's more than most people get on their like teams. With two other lingering tune bots? I mean, still. Buling's that strong in Weewa, specifically, yes. Because she can abuse Plunder with all her healing ticks. That's how the entire thing works. That Brat team that gets like 6k, 7k points against the Weewa endgame, they just abuse Plunderer because it scales off of, I think, outro damage and as well as electro damage and healing. The reason I'm considering Amy's because I have Linnea and Chisa and I want her to be used somewhere. Yeah, it could be worth it for that. But I don't think Linnea and... I mean, it's good. It's like 2.x DPS level. So there's no point in saying it's not good. But, uh... like, it's decently behind Linnea Mornai.
Can you keep up? Into the wind.
Like, to put it in perspective, I don't even care about these 3.x characters, and I'm going for Glob out of nowhere. So, 2.x DPS level is fine, okay? The CC you're watching is going for a 2.x DPS.
Onward.
Glob, Galbrena. Is it still behind Linnea Mornai at S3? Hell no. The difference isn't that big. The difference between Ameth, Linnea Mornai, and then Ameth, Linnea Chisa is like 300k damage, which is like That you could probably surpass that with like S1 or S2. Pulling for Galbrena of all characters. I mean, if anyone's been watching my channel long enough, when the characters first got drip marketed, Galbrena was always the character I wanted the second most, aside from Chisa. But I didn't end up getting her. I got Augusta instead. Like, I don't know, my likeness for her kind of faded, but now it just reappeared out of absolutely nowhere, so. I remember when people got mad at me for saying that Galbrena would be better than Changli in Mono Fusion. This was back when they first got dripped, by the way. Like, this was back in like 2.3, 2.4. I had predicted Galbrena would be better than Changli in Mono Fusion, and I got a ton of comments from people saying, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. And then I'm gonna be wrong, and they'd never do that to Changli. Yet he was right. Literally, my only assumption, Bronte, was that they'd want to make a new fusion DPS that Lupa synergizes with outside of the older teams, and that she had blue flames. Like that was all I had to go off of, and like obviously like, being able to predict Gacha company practices. It's just so easy, man. It's so easy. No, Galbrena's best in slot team isn't Mono Fusion. But she is better than Chengli in Mono Fusion like 99% of the time. Galbrena's best in slot team currently, I think, if we talk about no healer, there is a team that is actually like really competitive with Cart, which is Galbrena, Prolova, QU1. With swaps, that reaches like 2 mil plus, which is really strong. But with healer, it's QU1 SK.
Can you keep up?
Lupa, Brant, Mornai, best mono fusion team? No,
Into the
not really. But it is strong. Like Hyper Carry Brant, um, Hyper Carry Brant is now basically 2.x main DPS level with that team. I think I saw a video from Eugene today actually. Um where he ran that Hyper Carry Brand team
onward.
and he got like 11k in double pawns matrix. So, really solid team.
Into the way.
Oh, apparently Bronte, Prolova got buffed with Mornai too, apparently. Now, take it with a grain of salt. Sweaty ass player Eugene. Like, the guy's a speedrunner. But according to him, Prolova using Mornai Kanta is the smoothest team he's ever used with Prolova before. And I just keep thinking to myself, how does she keep getting more teams? I got 6k with my S3 Brant Lupa SK team. uh, all that to be a plunderer victim. True. I will say, Bronte, the score that I saw he got in Wiwa when he was talking about it was 3.8K. I think Buling still got it. I think Buling still got it. Will they do rerun old banner next Annie again? I'd assume so. Like, it'd probably have the same logic as the last one. Anyone in 3.2 won't get reran because it was like just then, but everyone before will end up getting a rerun banner. Which means Mornai should be there, Lene should be there, Ameth and Luke should be there. All that shit. I'll probably use the Annie to either get Kanta if I can't get her because I'm trying to get Galbrena in 3.1, or go into Galbrena sequences if I do manage to get them. Are you supposed to call her Mornier? I just read it as Mornai. Is Annie before collab? Yeah, it's right before collab. Might be the biggest bait of all time. It is, Bronte. Annie's 3.3. Collab is 3.4. 3.5 is Mengzhou.
Onward.
The correct way to say her name is Morning. Closest way is to call her Morning. Damn, dude. Like, how am I supposed to keep up with that? Will the collab characters be more broken than Cartethia? Nah, they'll probably make them ass. Or at least, like, mid. I'd say best thing you can hope for is that they're, like, treated the same as other characters in the version. That's probably the best you can hope for. Gacha games usually will go out of their way to make collab characters not crazy because, like, obviously they can't ever return, which kind of sucks for people who started late. It's like, oh fuck, I can't get this broken ass character that was on a limited time collab. So they usually try to, like, not make it too bad for the player. But then again, who knows? This is Wua's first collab, so maybe they say fuck it. Rebecca, 30% vulnerability. S1 gives you 25% true damage. Respen across the board. Like, maybe they just say fuck it, dude. Oh, really, Bronte? Lucy will be a broken support? According to Step's roadmap, it's more likely that Rebecca's a support, sadly. And Lucy's a DPS. Sag. But he hasn't been, like, completely accurate on anything. He's only been, like, semi-accurate. He has, like, the basis down. Because it's like, things change. Like, everybody's like, oh, the Step Leaks roadmap, it was, like, filled with lies. But it's like, no, things just change. That shit is old as hell. Apparently that roadmap is from, like, 1.x, and it's somehow still accurate to an extent. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I have no idea how I'm able to maintain 80 to 90 viewers just yapping and walking around on this game for hours. But I'll take it. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you have a great day. Hope you have a great night. Remember, Galbrena Supremacy